in this case, in 2023, our return was 5.6%. So let's discuss how the return was actually
how did you
got this
arrive?
return
Yes,
of 5.6%. So on one end, we offered a dividend yield of 3.6%. This dividend yield was determined on two book closures, right? So the first book closure, which we usually call the interim, we declared a payout of 0.30 shillings per unit, right? Then the final dividend yield was 0.47 shillings per unit, right? Now, how we calculate this return is we simply look at the revenue businesses. Book closures is simply the periods as which we analyze our books.
Okay.
So in a year, and it's basically in a lot of investments, you have two book closures: the first 6 months and the second 6 months. In this case, our book closures is between January 1st to 30th June. That is a book closure. So if you have all your units that you're holding within that period, right, you qualify to earn the first interim dividend, which as of last year was 0.30. Right? The second book closure is the second half year is up to 31st December 2023 in the case of last year, where we declared a final dividend of 0.47. So as an investor, if you've been investing the full year, you are going to realize the 0.47, the 0.77 full year dividend yield in total, right? Right? Again, just another question we usually get is, when do you do these payments, right? So for the interim, we'll do a book closure as of 30th June, right? Then we have to analyze and audit our books. Then we'll do an AGM and declare the payout. So probably you'll get a payout in September. If it's 31st December, again, there's a 60-day period, right? 60 days period where we have that period to audit the books again, evaluate the properties, then declare a return via an AGM. Then if you invested up to 31st December, you should expect to get your dividends by the month of May, right?
That is very clear. So now all of us are on the same level. We understand what book closures are, right? So what we are saying is that what he's telling us is that if, for example, I have 1,000 units on VUCA, right, which I bought between 1st of January to 31st of June, and then on 1st of July, I buy another 1,000 units, the units that I bought on 1st of July are not going to be used to calculate my return for the first half year. Exactly. So let's get that clear, and then we continue. So book closure, then
so that's, and it's very clear. It's very important to make that clear, right? Because again, that will also impact the return you see on your dashboard, in the sense that you'll say you saw 1%, but we declared, for example, in the last year 5.6%. So in this case, if you started your investments in August, right, and last year we declared a full year return of 5.6%, right, you'll only end up getting for the half year, right, and that would be based on the book closure, right? So to calculate the dividends, we simply take the revenue the property is actually generated, right? In simpler terms, deduct our costs, then we realize an operating profit. Right, so out of the profit, we via an AGM again, we will declare the percentage which shall pay out to members, right? By law, as you or may not be aware, law regulates we do a payout of 80%. Right?
Yes, 80% of your
we
profits.
are fond of usually even doing a higher payout. Like in 2023, our payout is around 99%.
Really?
So that gives the number of 240 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now that once we get that number, we divide it via the number of units that we've actually issued, right? And in simpler terms, that is how we decide, or we not decide, but get to the actual dividends we're paying out.
Yes.